everyone, and welcome to Journey Beyond the Island podcast with Izzy. I am very nervous, so please bear with me. This is not something I planned. It was literally something I was talking to my older sister about on Monday. I was driving home from work, and we were just having a conversation, just talking about life and the things that I want to achieve in life, and just basically dreams and goals. And yeah, we had a good chat, and I was like, oh my God, guess what? And she goes, oh no, what now, Izzy? And I'm like, I want to do my own podcast. And she was like, oh, okay. Yeah, go for it. And I was like, okay, I will. So yeah, I went home and did some research and looking for studios, and now I'm here with you guys. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Episode 1. I don't have a specific topic that I want to talk about in this episode. I just wanted to really get in front of the camera and see how I feel, and then work the rest out from there. As I said, we are gonna just go with the flow and see how this all goes. First things first, my name is Isabel Mana. I am from the island of Rarotonga, which is in the Cook Islands. I was born and raised there. My family and I we did move a couple of times from the island of Raro to New Zealand. And yeah, I have been living in Australia roughly going on to 8 years. At the end of this year would be 8 years. I left home when I was 16 years old. And man, was that a journey. And like, just thinking about that right now, it just makes me want to cry. But yeah, there was just a lot. And I'm very grateful that I went through that journey, because I knew that if I didn't go through that journey, I wouldn't be where I am today for sure. If I just stuck to my comfort zone, which was being home, living with family. I was living with my nana at the time before I left to come over to Australia. So yeah, that's a little bit of a background check on me. And there is 5 of us. I have 2 older brothers. I have a older sister. Then I have myself and my youngest sister. We all do now live in Australia. My parents as well live here in Australia. I moved them over to Australia from the Cook Islands during COVID time. As most of you probably already know, COVID was a freaking bitch, and really got a lot of people financially. So yeah, that's the reason my parents moved here, and because of their first and only grandson, who is my son, Nixon. Yeah, I'm a mum. Oh my God, I didn't even mention that in my introduction. I am a mum of 2. I say to everyone is because I have my son, who is 3 years of age. Then I have my niece, who is my older sister's daughter. She's been living with me since she came over with my parents. So yeah, that's my 2 kiddos. And yeah, now that's it about me. We'll move into more about that journey, about the whole move from the Cook Islands to Australia, and throughout this episode. So just stay tuned and bear with me. The most important thing that I did want to cover in this episode, I'm not going to go too much into a lot of things just yet, only because it's my first time doing this, and I really want to take it really slow, because there's just a lot of things I do want to cover throughout each episode that I do come out with. But first thing I do want to cover would be, why did you leave home? Now, that's a question that not just my friends ask, not just people back home. When I go home for holidays, they're like, why did you leave home? What made you leave? Even random people I meet today is like, why did you leave home? Isn't it like the most beautiful place to live? And I'm like, of course it is. But the real reason is, the truth, would be because I was dead. I was actually dead inside. I don't think I had any friends at the time. I think I lost all my friends, or I distanced myself from them. I was drinking, smoking, I was doing everything wrong. And to top that off is my parents didn't have a stable home for us to live in. And we were a family who always moved around a lot. Like, we would live in, one place for a couple of months, then we moved to another place for a couple of months. And yeah, we were paying rent, and I don't know much people back home on the island who are locals who pay rent. But yeah, we were a family who moved around the island a lot. We also lived with family members as well. It was just very tough times back then. And yeah, that's the reason I wanted to leave. I thought, you know what? There's just nothing left. There's just nothing left for me here, So as soon as I turned 16, I paid for my flight and I got on that plane and I literally left. I left the island at the age of 16. I did beg my parents before proceeding with doing all of this behind their back. My parents didn't know that I was leaving the island up until, I think, the day I left. Oh no, just the day before I was leaving, because they actually have to drop me off to the airport. We had to go to the police station, to get my driver's license. So I only just turned 16, and then they had to drop me off to the airport. And I think it's because I asked them to drop me off to the airport is how they found out, which is really bad now that I think about it, because if my son did that to me, I would be like, what the fuck? But yeah, that's where I had no friends. I had no passion in doing anything back home. Everywhere I looked, I felt like a lot of people looked at me as disgusted. And like, who is she? Like, what is she doing with her life? So yeah, I was working part-time at a resort called the Club Raro. So if you have traveled back home for holiday vacations, this is where I started my part-time job. And I was living with a friend when I first got the job. I was living with a friend from back home, her and her family. I think it only lasted, 1 to 2 weeks. And then I moved into my nan's house to live with them. And I think a couple of you are like, okay, where were your parents? They were actually living on a section. We call it a shack back home. They were living in a tiny little tin house on our section, which they did own. They purchased that property couple years back when I was younger. So we did have a property, but we just didn't have a house on the property. But yeah, that's why I left home. I hit literally rock bottom. I was like, I need to get out of here because I'm just gonna get worse. And that's what I did. I asked my auntie to pay for my flights because it was all done online. And she was like, does your parents know? I'm like, yeah, I asked them. But really, I did not ask them. And that was me saving every dollar every time I got paid just to book that flight to get out of home. And then, yeah, that was a journey after that. I did not reach out to any family members here in Australia to like pick me up from the airport. It was literally just me just getting on that plane. I didn't think about anything else. All I wanted to do was get on the plane and just get the fuck out of there. But as parents would do, my mum actually phoned my oldest brother and said, hey, he was the only one living in Australia at the time. So yeah, mum gave him a call and said, please pick your sister up. She's silly. She booked her flights. We don't know who's going to pick her up from the airport. Anyway, panic mode, as they should. But yeah, I got there and yes, my brother did pick me up. But yeah, and now just reflecting on that specific time in my life, it was really hard. It felt like single. You know how a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're a single mom now. What are you going to do? And again, that's for another story. Another episode, I'll say. But yeah, a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's so impressive. I said, it was not impressive. Nothing about that is impressive. I was literally like lost. I was a 15-year-old at the time. I was 15 years of age, and I had no one in my life. I just had no guidance. Mum and dad were living off paycheck to paycheck. Their kids were, doing their own thing. And that was all because we didn't have a home, to a stable place where we can come together as one and just help each other. We all we all just had to grow up and do everything ourselves. Like literally my sister, my brothers, like we all just had to just wing life around that age, 16, 15. Yeah, nothing about that was pleasing, but I do know that if I didn't take that leap of faith, if I didn't have that courage to just do what I did, I know for sure it would not have shaped the person I am today. And my parents, I did this for them. I was like, I saw that deep down in their eyes. Like I just knew that deep down in their hearts, I saw it through their eyes, that they really, wish they could help us kids. But yeah, there was really nothing they could do. Yeah, that's the reason I left. There was just nothing left for me there. And I knew that I could provide something better for my family, especially my mum and dad. Like I knew they couldn't do it. I knew, like, mum grew up with no schooling in her life. Mum grew up just cleaning around, the house, and dad also grew up with they both just didn't have any education in their life. And I think that's why they pushed myself and my siblings to always go to school, just because they didn't have that opportunity to do that. But yeah, that was a journey. That is the reason why I left home. And I'm so grateful that I did, because if I didn't, and it was really hard, it's not something everyone would do. But yeah, it was really hard, and now I'm here, and we have really manifested a lot since. If you are watching this or listening to this, and you're like, oh my God, I really want to do this. I really want to get out of your comfort zone. Stop thinking about it, number one. The more you think about it, the more doubt you're going to have, and you're just not going to do it. So just think of that idea. Don't even plan. Just do it. And if you don't like it, like if I don't like this at the end of my recording, and if it's not for me, which I know it's for me, because I'm just like, okay, we're coming to the end of this episode, and I just know that I'm going to be so much more ready next time, and I know that I'm going to progress. But if I didn't do this today, how the frick was I meant to know? So yeah, go out there, follow those dreams, take the risk. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but there's always something else to do. But yeah, thank you, and have a lovely day, beautifuls.